Welcome back to Homesteading with the Zimmermans, where we work hard and play hard on our little corner of land in Iowa. My husband and I were born and raised Old Order Mennonite, or horse and buggy Mennonite, as some refer to them as. And although we are no longer part of that culture or community, we are intentional about passing on the old-fashioned skills of our childhood to the next generation. Hello, welcome back to Homesteading with the Zimmermans. The star of this week's video is going to be one of our favorite frozen summer treats, and we don't even have an official name for this treat. Maybe by the time I'm done editing this, I'll have come up with a nice name for this treat, but it was born out of, those hot summer days when you know that you need to get protein into the children, but all they want is frozen treats because it's so warm outside. So I came up with this recipe, and it has been a family favorite since then. And two of my nephews are staying here for the week while their parents are out of town. So I have been focusing mostly on the kitchen, because every time these little boys come into the kitchen and say they're hungry, I am thinking they need protein, they need calories, with the bulk of those calories being from protein. So that is what the star of this video is all about, is this frozen treat. I am in the garden. There is not a whole lot that needs to be done in the garden this week. Temperatures each night have been dipping into the low 50s. So that means there is no tomatoes that are turning color. And the green beans are taking a little break. We canned about 100 quarts. And the bush beans will do this. They'll take a little break where you think they're done, but if you just let them, they'll get their second wind, and soon they'll start blooming again, and then we'll have more green beans. And my cucumbers, because I planted them later, we don't have any pickles that we need to can. The sweet corn's not ready yet, and all the brassicas and lettuce are done with, because most of the cold crops are all done with. The heat-loving crops are not pushing yet, because we had very little rain in the month of June, and now we have cool nights and daytime temperatures barely in the 80s. So that just gives us a little bit of break in the garden. Okay, so the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to use our peanut butter. And this is the kind of peanut butter I use, and I will link it in the description. It's an all-natural peanut butter with the ingredients only being peanuts and salt, I think. So yes, dry roasted peanuts and salt are the only ingredients in here. So a lot of peanut butters will contain other oils, and some even contain corn syrup. They'll contain cheaper oils to bulk up their peanut butter. So natural peanut butter is a fairly expensive form of protein for us, just because, like eggs and milk and the meat that we raise here on the homestead, would be a more sustainable protein for our family. So we don't go through a lot of peanut butter, but it's nice to have, to mix things up a little bit and to have something special. So first thing we need to do is I keep the natural peanut butter in the refrigerator so it doesn't go rancid, because it doesn't have any preservatives in. And that means it's hard and not soft and creamy like your regular creamy peanut butter from the store would be. So I'm going to soften this up a little bit so it mixes easier and isn't so hard on my mixer. So because I don't have a double boiler, I'm going to melt my peanut butter in a pot with some hot water, and then I've got my glass measuring cup inside of there. And you could also soften your peanut butter in the microwave if you need to, or if you don't have creamy peanut butter. So while my peanut butter is softening, I'm going to mix together approximately the same amount of bananas as I have peanut butter. So I have about 2 cups of peanut butter. I'm going to use about 5 bananas. What I add for sweetener is honey. You could use maple syrup too. And I'm adding about 1/2 to 3/4 cup of honey. So now that I've creamed together my banana and honey and my peanut butter is softened, I'm going to add my peanut butter to the banana and honey and going to mix that together. Next, we're going to get our graham crackers ready, and I buy these by the case in the summertime from Azure Standard, same place I order my peanut butter from, and I will put my link for Azure Standard in the description for you. Now that I've got my graham crackers ready, I'm gonna take this cookie scoop and I'm going to scoop some of the peanut butter filling onto each graham cracker. Now we're ready to take them to the freezer. Come for your snack! After our treats have been in the freezer for 6 to 12 hours, we are ready to enjoy them. And since most of our daily protein comes from the dairy that we have in abundance through yogurt or chocolate milk or cheese or just drinking plain milk, our taste buds and our digestive system loves to switch up our source of protein every once in a while. But like I said, since all of these ingredients are ingredients that we have to buy and can't raise them or don't raise them, we try to make this a special summertime treat about once a month. So we are going to stack all of these treats into a container with a lid, and we're just going to store them in the freezer, and we will have them for treats and afternoon snacks the rest of this week. So in other news around the homestead, these twin calves, Tom and Jerry, have been exactly what the boys have needed to finish out this summer. they were kind of bored with all their outside games and chores. So this distraction and new chores and new responsibility has given the boys a purpose that will probably take them through the next month or so. Nope. Nope.
Oh, down there where we have our tree planted.
Yeah.
That was going to make something there. That was picking up. He had a chicken house though. That's why there was concrete.
Mucking out the calf stall is a perfect job for the boys. And yes, I could have had them loaded all onto the skid loader scoop, and we could have driven down and dumped it. But there's just a sense of satisfaction that boys get from hard physical labor. And normally if they have a job that requires them to exert themselves and takes a little bit of, you know, figuring things out and mastering things and feeling like they've accomplished something, the rest of the day they can play, and there's very little bickering and very little fighting, and it's just good for them to have good, honest, hard work.
That's hard. It's over.
Having the cousins here this week, it seemed like the perfect time to start halter training the calves. The boys have never done this before, so halter training the calves consisted almost more of training the boys on how to halter train the calves. But everybody has a great time working with the calves. Push him, Mason. Push him. There you go. Grab the rope.
Yo. Hey, glove you, Jerry. Glove you. Does anybody want to eat it? Wait, you want to? Wait, you want to? Wait, he bucks front, see? Maybe you want to do those pulling back. You doing buck front? Oh, maybe not. Yeah, tell me. Pull front. We're on the castle.
Good job, Mason.
Hey.
It's amazing to me how much progress the calves made in just a few short training sessions. Don't let them run. Yep, don't let them run. In other news, Norma has settled in so beautifully to hand milking, to being halter trained, and the truth is that cows thrive on routine. So the fact that we're doing the same thing every day, twice a day, has really helped Norma to settle in. She's definitely an adult's cow. I would not expect her to behave this well for the kids. Like, she still tries to push me around with her head sometimes, but for the most part, she respects me and does what I want her to do. She has settled into milking, and as long as we keep the flies under control and off of her, she stands perfectly still while I milk her twice a day. Right now, Norma is giving us between 6 and 8 gallons a day. The calves, of course, are getting between 3 and 4 gallons of that milk. But then also Brenda, my little Jersey, is giving us 3 gallons a day. So that means we are getting 11 to 12 gallons of milk every day. This means that we are bringing between 7 and 8 gallons of milk into the house each day. And needless to say, the pigs are getting a lot of skim milk these days. What we do is we clean and refrigerate the milk, and then I skim off the cream, and all the milk that we can't use goes to help fatten the pigs. Come keep the cats away from the milk. Okay, come keep the cats away from the milk. Good boy, Dave. Our donkey Dave needed his feet trimmed, so we traded some milk for a hoof trimming for Dave.
Well, he won't swim as good, but he'll walk better.
Show me what you've got. So this is normally the time of year when all of my chickens decide that the days are so long and the nights are so short that they won't even go back into the chicken house for the night. And they start just sleeping in the barn, and then consequently they start hiding all of their eggs and we can't find them. So what we need to do is start locking up we need to get all the chickens into the chicken house every night and start locking them up. And then normally what we do is we wait until about 5 p.m. to let them free range. And that way they spend most of the time in the chicken house, but they still get to free range during the evening and eat all the bugs and grass that they want. But they can't go hide their eggs in the barn unless they're going to hold back their egg laying until 5 p.m. So I decided that since we have extra boys here this week, it would be a great week to lock the chickens up every night in their chicken house, so that hopefully we can start having an abundance of eggs to go with our abundance of milk. Well, that is it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for commenting and sharing and all the love that you show us here on our channel. It's been an extremely busy week here, but no less enjoyable than any of the other weeks here on the homestead.